Jun Group is a opt-in video platform. So what we do is if a Fortune 500 brand has a video, typically 60 seconds to 3 minutes long, we get millions of people to see it, share it, and interact with it across multiple screens. We are a company that has been built organically. We've never accepted any funding. We've been profitable from year one. We've been doing it for a very long time, really over 5 years, just focused on this product. And Fortune 500 brands continue to invest with us because we can deliver real measurable results.
Right.
So engagement, we can get a 2 or 3 minute long video watched 90% of the time to the end. We can target very carefully by age, by gender, even by interest. We do a lot of work, for instance, in the pet industry. We can get just cat owners to watch, or in the auto industry, just auto intenders who are in the market to buy a car in the next 6 months.
Let's talk about that a little bit more, because we were discussing, I think, one of the first evening here, you were telling me a little bit about how some of your clients were so incredibly, they found pre-disclosed target audiences or self-proclaimed target audiences so highly valuable, and they were willing to pay premiums,
right.
Which to me was quite interesting, because performance-driven media acquisition is something we sort of all talked about, but is really hard to plan and buy around.
Right.
And you're actually doing it, so I would love to hear more.
We do it. You know, our clients want a couple of things from us. They want scale, they want price, and they want target. And so, you know, we have various tools of doing that, but the main thing that we do is rewards. So it started in social games where on, for instance, a Zynga game, you could get a couple of game points in return for watching a video, and what we found was that people will line up to do that. And not only will they line up, they're happy to say, here's my age, here's my gender, or we could just connect it to their Facebook profile. So what's happened is that theme of rewards has gone out into all kinds of different publishers now. So it's ad-free entertainment. It is access to previously gated content. The concept of a reward is fairly broad, and we let each publisher that joins us determine what the reward is that's best for them. So we actually serve 3 constituencies. 1 is the user, 2 is the brand, and 3 is the publisher, in no particular order because they're all critical. So for publishers, not only do we give them very high payouts for this video, it's very high net effective CPM, much higher than other forms of advertising. Their users, actually 65% of our users say they stay longer on a publisher site after watching the ad because they've gotten some sort of, you know, gateway drug into whatever that publisher's offering.
Wow, that's an interesting analogy. We may run with that afterwards with cocktails. So what incentives work? I mean, obviously, because you're sort of taking the holistic view of it. You're seeing what incentives work, what really is motivating audiences, not just to watch the video for that binary sort of transaction in some respects, but actually then to share it and to make it more dynamic and a conversation with the brand.
Right. So the sharing part of it, or the click to a website, or download a coupon or recipe, whatever it is, that's all up to the user. But the interesting thing is the rewarded users, after they've gotten the reward, typically, on average, 5% of them will take an action afterwards, just because they've had a good experience. There's nothing in it for them. So that's one of the most powerful things when you target someone properly, and when a user enters into this sort of contract, you're sort of opening up the ad mechanism to the user and saying, okay, listen, you're going to watch an ad, and we're not talking about native content, which is necessarily more entertaining or created to live, you know, in an editorial environment. This is an ad, and we don't make value judgments about our clients' ads. Sometimes they're terrific, sometimes we don't think they're terrific, but if you target them well and you're honest with the user, and we feel this is the most respectful way to bring an advertising message to a user, they have this unbelievable capacity to spend time and to be open to a brand, and most of the time they have a great experience.
David, how do you feel as a publisher about, you know, one, the value judgment of the quality of the video ad, right? Because this is much more subjective than display. And also, you know, the idea of incentivizing consumption of advertising on your, you know, kind of real estate.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, I'm very excited about the developments of what is happening with interactive video advertising. And these 2 companies tap into a couple of things that I think are really important. One, the Jun Group and what you're doing is really starting to message to consumers that they're trading their time for free content. And that exchange is emphasized in the choice that they have to make, you know, watch a video in exchange for something. And that's good for advertisers, and it's good for consumers, and really it's good for the publishing ecosystem if we can move to a place where that becomes the value exchange. Because as our products stay free, many of our products are going to stay free, some of our products are going to be freemium, but the ones that are free, we clearly have to change the ad game to something that correlates more like television, you know, where you watch a television show and you get 2-minute pods of commercials, and there's a ecosystem, a valuable ecosystem, much more valuable ecosystem than what we have in digital. So that's an exciting thing. And then, you know, with Tal's company here in Innovid, and we have a company called PointRoll that's doing a lot of the same. What they bring to the table is leveraging the existing video or television video assets and making them better and making them fit the medium that we have. And I think that those two breakthroughs or innovations, I think, are critical to moving digital media from a two-dimensional display-oriented, performance-oriented thing upstream into truly a brand engaging mechanism.
Tal, so I'd be interested to hear, and we're going to talk a little bit about Innovid in a minute, but I would like to hear your perspective on not just how bullish are you on performance-based, not media models for video advertising, but compensation and payment models, right? Determining the value of the media based on how it performs.
So one, first of all, a key disclaimer: Innovid delivers a technology. We're not selling media per se.
Of course,
so
that's actually why I want your opinion.
That's an important distinction. One thing that we're constantly seeing, and we're seeing more and more brands taking advantage or kind of judging the technology or leveraging the technology, is by the earned media and the time spent. So we see that thanks to the interactivity, people consumers are tapping into and clicking the ad and spending more time. And for the most part, we're seeing double the time on average with an ad. So if a marketer bought 30 seconds in front of a consumer, thanks to enrichment with the technology and essentially delivering better creative and highly targeted to the viewer, is getting an extra 30%, an extra 30 second in front of the audience, and by that this is a true ROI. So I bought 30 seconds and I got double the time just by using of the technology.
Yeah.
So we're seeing more and more marketers using that as a success factor for their media buy, for their targeting, and for the use of the technology.
If I can add, there's an important nuance there to that extra 30 seconds, which shouldn't be lost, which is that the user stays within the experience that they were in. They don't jump off to another site. And I think to the extent that one of the biggest problems with display as an ad currency is that the value prop is associated with someone taking an action that takes them somewhere else out of the flow.
Right.
And more we're seeing some of these technological solutions, and we're building a lot of these ads that are essentially trying to bring into the ad experience what these other brands have created off-site. That's going to be the trick to
That's a great distinction, David.